Lightning and Kip, the storm, the powers, and the shadow of Ironclaw. Settle in, because every good hero's tale becomes unforgettable when a villain steps out of the shadows. A boy, a dog, and a quiet town. In a peaceful town surrounded by whispering pines lived Kip, a boy with a heart big enough for the whole world. And by his side was Lightning, the gold-furred dog with a jagged white streak down his back like a bolt frozen in time. They were inseparable, partners in every adventure. But neither knew that destiny was already stirring, preparing to test them in ways they could never imagine. The storm that changed everything. One summer evening, a monstrous storm rolled in, dark, swirling, alive. Lightning struck the earth with a fury that shook the woods. A bolt hit a fallen tree near Lightning, wrapping him in a glowing cocoon of energy. When the light faded, Lightning stood tall, eyes glowing electric blue. He had changed. He had powers. Long before Kip was born, people whispered about the Skyfire storm, a rare and powerful force of nature that appeared only once every few centuries. It wasn't just weather. It was alive in its own way, wild, searching, choosing. Some said it was the sky's way of protecting the earth. Others said it was a test. But all agreed on one thing. The Skyfire storm always chose a champion. And on that summer evening, it chose Lightning. But the storm had awakened something else too. Something dangerous. The villain, Dr. Ironclaw. Far beyond the hills, hidden in a rusted metal tower, lived a man known only as Dr. Ironclaw. Once a brilliant inventor, he had turned bitter and obsessed with controlling the forces of nature. He believed storms were alive creatures that could be tamed, harnessed, and used. When the great storm struck Lightning, Ironclaw's machines detected the surge instantly. A creature touched by the storm, he muttered, eyes gleaming behind cracked goggles. A living conduit of power. I must have it. And so, Ironclaw set out to find the dog infused with lightning. As days passed, Lightning discovered his abilities. Speed faster than the wind. Sparks that danced beneath his paws. Leaps that defied gravity. A thunderous bark that shook the air. Kip was amazed. Lightning was careful. And Ironclaw was watching the whole time from a distance. Ironclaw believed he was destined to control the very powers that Lightning had harnessed that day. Nothing, not even a child, would stand in his way. Kip in trouble. One afternoon, Kip wandered into the old quarry. The ground gave way beneath him, and he fell into a deep pit. Lightning leapt in after him, soaring like a living bolt. He carried Kip out just before the cave collapsed. But they weren't alone. A jolt of fear radiated through Kip which Lightning picked up on. A metallic clank echoed across the quarry. Then another. And another. From the shadows stepped a tall figure in a long coat of metal plates, each one etched with lightning symbols. His right hand was a massive mechanical claw that hummed with electricity. Dr. Ironclaw. Well, Ironclaw said, voice cold. The storm has chosen you, dog. You belong to me now, and there is no refusal. Lightning growled, sparks crackling along his fur. His muscles tightening like cable springs. Kip stepped in front of him. Leave him alone. Ironclaw raised his clawed hand. Stand aside, boy. I only need the creature, not you. You need to go home. Lightning moved faster than thought, placing himself between Kip and the villain. His eyes glowed brighter than ever. His teeth growling and eyes fixed. Ironclaw smirked. Good. Show me your power. He slammed his claw into the ground, sending a shockwave toward them. Lightning dodged, scooping Kip onto his back and sprinting across the quarry. But Ironclaw was prepared. He activated a device on his wrist, and metal drones rose from the ground, buzzing like angry hornets. Capture the dog, he commanded. Lightning zigzagged, dodging blasts of energy. Kip clung to his fur, heart pounding. Lightning, we have to get out of here. Lightning saw a small cave big enough and shielded to hide Kip. Lightning ran toward the cave and slung Kip into it. Turning to face Ironclaw, Lightning headed straight at the drone's full speed. Lightning then skidded to a stop and unleashed a thunderous bark. The shockwave shattered the drones into scrap. Ironclaw staggered back. Impossible. Lightning charged, sparks flying, and leapt high into the air. He landed in front of Ironclaw with a crack of electricity that sent the villain tumbling backward into the side of the quarry, which exploded into dust and rock. For the first time, Ironclaw looked afraid. "This isn't over," he hissed, scrambling to his feet. "I will return for what is mine." He vanished into the trees, Cloak whipping behind him. Lightning then came to the cave to check on Kip to make sure his human was okay. A bond tested and strengthened. Kip knelt beside Lightning, hugging him tightly. "You saved me again. And you stood up to him." Lightning licked Kip's cheek, tail wagging softly. They both knew Ironclaw would return. But they also knew something stronger. They would face him together. From that day on, Lightning wasn't just a dog with powers. He was a guardian, a protector, a hero. And Kip? He was the heart that kept Lightning grounded, brave, and true. Their bond wasn't just strong. It was unbreakable. Electric. Weeks later, back at his lair, Ironclaw was preparing something more sinister and frightening that will seal the fate of Lightning. This will make the earth shake. That is a story for another day.